In this video, I'm going to show you guys how to get the current year in PHP. So I had this question come up, and it's a really good example because a lot of times in the footer of a website, you'll say copyright, whatever the company name is, and then the year, right? The current year. And if you HTML hard code that in, or you make it even where someone can type in what year they want, they're going to forget, and it's going to be 2022, and it's still going to say copyright 2019, right? Still going to be 3 years behind because someone didn't manually go in and update that year. So I want to show you guys really quick how to get the current year, but there's a catch to it, just a small catch. Doesn't make that big of a difference except for depending on how you're using it. So let's get started. So here on the ideapro.io website that we use for examples and doing stuff like this, we have the example.php page pulled up. And this is just a standard PHP page, not connected to WordPress or anything like that, just PHP. And what we want to do is, in here we have welcome to the example. We're going to add a break in here. We're going to add a couple of breaks. And the best way to echo out the year is to just print it out to the page. So we're going to do date, and we're going to put in a capital Y. So now it says on the page, we refresh 2021. Now if you do a lowercase y and refresh, it's just going to say 21. So in something, if you were using at the bottom of the footer, you could say, you would want to use capital Y. So we could do copyright and then dot date, and you could do the copyright symbol, which is N COPY, and then you could say, right? So now we come back over here and we refresh copyright 2021 Joshua Herbison, right? All right, so the reason why I say there's a catch to it is because in this situation, it's not that big of a deal. But more than likely, unless you've set the settings to be to your current time zone, if you're using this in a setting for your company where that date really matters, that year could be off by time, because just date like this is Greenwich Mean Time, GMT. So here in Arizona, we are GMT -7. So basically 7 hours before it's actually 2022, let's say January 1st at 12 midnight, on my website, if I didn't do it to the time zone, it would have already been the new year 2022, 7 hours before it was actually New Year here. So depending on what you're using this for, depends on how you use this date function. So as I said, as a copyright, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. Somebody looked at your website and went, oh, copyright 2022, but it's still 2021. A few hours later, that's not going to matter. Even 12 hours later, if you're overseas or something, it's not going to matter. It's not going to make that big a difference. But if you're building something that needs reporting to where it's important to make sure that that date is correct, then you want to make sure that the date is correct for your time zone, right? So let's do here, let's do a full date, right? So we're going to do Y-M-D-H-I-S, okay? So that's full 4 year 2021 hyphen month, which is a two-day number, hyphen day, which is a 2-day number, H, which is the hour in military time, so 0 to 23 whatever. Minutes is I, which is a two number number, I guess, and then the seconds. So we want to look at this date and see if that date is correct with our current time zone. So we're going to, let's add a break after that. So we're going to come over here and refresh. And today is August 5th, 10:16, which is correct with our current time zone. And the reason why that is because we've set the server for our current time zone. But if it was off, then we would need to change that date to our current time zone. And I'm not going to go through that in this video of how to format dates, because there's a couple of different ways, and that video can get a little bit long. There's newer ways that you should be using and other ways you shouldn't be doing it. So I'll make another video about dates in the future. But for now, you can see that this is correct. So this would be okay to use just Y as the date. So I will show you just really quickly how you could fix this if it was 3 hours off or 7 hours off or 8 hours off, okay? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna create a date variable, and we're gonna call it date. And we're gonna do that same thing. We're gonna say Y-M-D H-I-S. And now we have that date value that we can manipulate a little bit. And as I said before, if we print this to the screen, I can't type for some reason. Let's say date, and we're going to add a break in there. We're going to get that same date that we had here. Okay, so now we come over here and we go, oh, it's 10:18. It's actually, 2:15, whatever, right? It's 4 hours off. It needs to be 4 hours ahead. So we could easily just say date, and then what format we wanted it in, Y-M-D. We're going to keep this one, IS, and then after this closing one, we're going to say string to time, and we're going to open two brackets like a function, and we're going to put in date, which is our value from our variable from here, and then right after date, we're going to put a period and two single quotes, and here we're going to say minus, we said 4 hours. Yeah, minus 4, or do we say plus 4 hours? Let's say plus 4 hours. I think we said plus. I think we said 2 o'clock. So now we come over here and we refresh, and now it says 14:19 instead of 10:19. Okay, so if we turn this off, it goes back to 10:19. And if we come back over and turn it back on, it is now 14:19, which is 4 hours later. We could say minus 4 hours, which would put it at 6:19. So that's the way you can get the correct date here. And then the way you would want to use that, if you had to format it like this, is you could just change this formatting here to just Y, and then put date right here. And so if we come down, refresh, now it's going to say copyright 2021, and that date is with the time zone of your area. Okay? As always, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, click the like button. Thank you guys for subscribing, watching, and commenting, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks.